My name's Peter James Carman. I'm a personal injury and workers' compensation lawyer in Appleton, Wisconsin. I have my own firm, Law Office of Peter J. Carman SC, that I've been running for almost 10 years. Been a lawyer for 21 years. Well, I became involved in WisLAP kind of in a happenstance manner, really. I was probably in my second or so year of my own law office, which I've had now for almost 10 years, and I kind of got overwhelmed with things. I got to the point where I was suffering some anxiety and depression because of it, and really got to the point where I told my wife I wanted to chuck it. I was going to go work at McDonald's kind of thing. And she actually went online and saw WisLAP, and she said, why don't you call them? So I did. I sublimated my pride. I called. They hooked me up with a lawyer who kind of talked me off the edge, and it was really helpful and made me interested in the program. Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't want to do that. In the law, there's a stigmatization with all things mental health related or substance or anything that shows any kind of weakness, and I didn't want it to get around or anything like that. Even though I knew intellectually it was confidential, that sort of thing. But you get to a breaking point, and it was like I said, I was ready to go work at McDonald's, so I'm like, might as well call, and it made all the difference. I mean, I know a lot of people think it's just going to be some sort of counselor or whatever, and it wasn't. It was another lawyer. Actually, they hooked me with someone who did the same kind of practice as me. I think he had dealt with like substance issues and stuff, but he understood the kind of issues I was dealing with, and like I said, he was successful in kind of making me refocus, talk me off the edge. After I got done talking with him, I was no longer thinking of going to work at McDonald's, that kind of thing. Sure, I mean, after that experience happened, and there were other things that happened after that, I just kept on seeing WisLAP being advertised by the bar and doing different things. And I thought, I have an affinity for that. I like to talk to other lawyers about issues in the law and mental health, things like that. So I did a leadership academy, and they wanted us to become more involved in the bar, and that was one of the areas of the bar that I identified that I wanted to do something with. So I was actually able to become part of the board for WisLAP, and then through the board do more volunteer type stuff. Well, because I have firsthand knowledge of what people are thinking of when they're thinking of calling WisLAP or not calling WisLAP, the hesitation, things like that, and I could tell them, look, I have the same worries, issues, whatever, and even if it does, someone finds out about whatever, who cares? I mean, it may set you back a little bit in their eyes, but who cares what other people think? It made all the difference for me. It made me a more successful lawyer and able to move forward and deal with certain issues I have. There's a misconception that WisLAP's only for people with alcohol and drug problems, right? It's not, it's wellness. It's everything from what we just talked about, stress, anxiety, maybe it's turned somewhat clinical where you're depressed or whatever, all the way through just health and wellness issues, up to those things like substance abuse, drug, alcohol, whatever. It's kind of a one-stop shop to help you with all things wellness. You just need to do it. I mean, everything in life involves risk, and really it's very little risk because it's confidential. No one else is going to find out about it, and you're actually being strong by doing it. You're not being weak, and everyone's human. Lawyers like to think they're not. We have the reputation for being not. You hear the jokes, that kind of thing, but we are, and we deal with the same thing everyone else does. But it's ratcheted up because we're dealing with people's lives, money, things of that nature, very hard things, because the law dictates everything we do in American society. So it's an important job. It's a stressful job. You need to have support. You need to put yourself in the best mental state you can be in order to do the job, for your clients, and then also, for yourself and your family. It's a good introduction. I mean, it's fairly low impact. You're talking about things that most people have some experience with or know something about, even without getting the training that WisLAP gives you. If you have a heart for helping other people, helping lawyers in particularly, it's a good place to get started. And then you can learn about other opportunities in the bar, because there's various different boards and committees that you can get involved in that focus on a multitude of things. So it's just a way to kind of get in the door and get started on something that maybe isn't very high impact, to where you get more confidence. You can move to things that are more, higher impact and require more time and that sort of thing.